Hare Krishna! In this video I am going to tell the fourth story from Kṛṣṇa book. Kaṁsa begins his persecutions. So in the previous chapter we have seen that Vasudeva exchanged baby Kṛṣṇa with a baby girl who was Yogmaya, born of Nanda and Yashoda in Gokula, and returned back to Kaṁsa's prison along with the baby girl. Now let's see what happened. After Vasudeva adjusted all the doors and gates, the gatekeepers awoke and heard the newborn baby crying. Kaṁsa was waiting to hear the news of the child's birth, and the gatekeepers immediately approached him and informed him that the child was born. At that time, Kaṁsa got up from the bed very quickly and exclaimed, "Now the cruel death of my life is born." Kaṁsa became perplexed now that his death was approaching and his hair stood on end. Immediately he proceeded towards the place where the child was born. Devaki, on seeing her brother approaching, prayed in a very gentle attitude to Kaṁsa, "My dear brother, please do not kill this female child. I promise that this child will be the wife of your son. Therefore don't kill her. You are not to be killed by any female child. That was the omen. You are to be killed by a male child, so please do not kill her. My dear brother, you have killed so many of my children who were just born, shining as the sun. That is not your fault. You have been advised by demoniac friends to kill my children. But now I beg you to excuse this girl. Let her live as my daughter." Kaṁsa was so cruel that he did not listen to the beautiful prayers of his sister Devaki. He forcibly grabbed the newborn child and attempted to dash her on the stone mercilessly. But immediately the child slipped out of his hands, went up in the sky, and appeared with 8 arms as the sister of Vishnu. She was decorated with a nice dress and flower garlands and ornaments. In her 8 hands, she held a bow, lancet, arrows, bell, conch shell, disc, club, and shield. Seeing the appearance of the child, who was actually Goddess Durga, all the demigods from different planets offered their respective prayers. From above, the goddess addressed Kaṁsa, "You rascal, how can you kill me? The child who will kill you is already born before me somewhere within this world. Don't be so cruel to your poor sister." After this appearance, the goddess Durga became known by various names in various parts of the world. After hearing these words, Kaṁsa became very much overwhelmed with fear. Out of pity, he immediately released Vasudeva and Devaki from the bondage of their shackles and very politely began to address them. He said, "My dear sister and brother-in-law, I have acted just like a demon in killing my own nephews. I have given up all consideration of our intimate relationship. I do not know what will be the result of these acts of mine. Probably I shall be sent to the hell where killers of Brahmanas go. I am surprised, however, that the Akashvani has not come true. False propaganda is not found only in the human society. Now it appears that even the celestial denizens speak lies. Because I have believed in the words of the celestial denizens, I have committed so many sins by killing the children of my sister. My dear Vasudeva and Devaki, you are both very great souls. I have nothing to instruct you, but still I request that you not be sorry for the death of your children. My dear sister Devaki and brother-in-law Vasudeva, kindly excuse the atrocities I have committed against you. I am very poor-hearted and you are so great-hearted, so take compassion upon me and excuse me." While Kaṁsa was speaking to his brother-in-law and sister, tears flowed from his eyes and he fell down at their feet. Believing the words of Durga Devi, whom he had tried to kill, Kaṁsa immediately released his brother-in-law and sister. He personally unlocked the iron shackles and very sympathetically showed his friendship, just like a family member. When Devaki saw her brother so regretful, She also became pacified and forgot all his atrocious activities against her children. Vasudeva also, forgetting all past incidents, spoke smilingly with his brother-in-law. Vasudeva told Kaṁsa, "My dear brother-in-law, every living entity is born ignorant, understanding this material body to be his self. This conception of life is due to ignorance, and on the basis of this ignorance, we create enmity or friendship." Vasudeva further informed Kaṁsa that his atheistic activities were also due to this misconception of life, namely taking the material body to be his self. When Vasudeva talked with Kaṁsa in such a way, Kaṁsa became very pleased and his guilt for killing his nephews subdued. With the permission of his sister Devaki and brother-in-law Vasudeva, he returned to his home with a relieved mind. But the next day, Kaṁsa called all his counselors together and narrated to them all the incidents that had happened the night before. All the counselors of Kaṁsa were demons, and they began to give instructions to Kaṁsa as follows. "Dear sir, let us now make arrangements to kill all the children who were born within the last 10 days in all towns, countries, villages, and pasturing grounds. Let us execute this plan indiscriminately. We think that the demigods cannot do anything against us if we perform these atrocities." The demons continued to say that the foundation of the strength of the demigods is Lord Vishnu, because the ultimate goal of all religious principles is to satisfy him. The Vedic injunctions, the Brahmanas, the cows, austerities, sacrifices, performances of charity, and distribution of wealth are all for the satisfaction of Lord Vishnu. So let us immediately begin by killing all the Brahmanas who are in charge of the Vedic knowledge and the great sages who are in charge of the sacrificial ritualistic performances. Let us kill all the cows which are the source of butter, which is so necessary for performing sacrifices. Please give us your permission to kill all these creatures. Lord Vishnu is situated in everyone's heart and is the leader of all demigods, including Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma. We think that to kill Lord Vishnu is to persecute the great sages and Brahmanas, said the ministers. Thus, being advised by the demoniac ministers, Kaṁsa, who was from the very beginning the greatest rascal, decided to persecute the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, being entrapped by the shackles of all-devouring eternal time. He ordered the demons to harass all kinds of saintly persons, and then he entered his house. An offense at the lotus feet of the devotees and the Brahmanas is a greater sin than that committed at the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. Thus, a godless civilization becomes the source of all calamities. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the 4th chapter of Kṛṣṇa. Kaṁsa begins his persecutions. Thank you. Hare Krishna.